I'm live on Facebook. I am about to go live on YouTube for the first time ever. Word up. I'm live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Welcome to the second episode of Positive Vibes Only Podcast. Awesome. First episode was good. All right. First episode was awesome. Thank you for those who tuned in. All right. So, episode 2. I am going to give a few minutes to let some people come on to the live podcast. So, in the meantime, if you're watching this at a later date and a later time, you can go ahead and fast forward through the first few minutes so you don't have to wait. But I like to wait until people come on because that is the reason that I go live. So people can interact, so people can talk and chat. So if you're listening to this live, you're going to be asking some questions. You're going to be commenting. I like this to be an interactive podcast. So thank you everybody for tuning in last week. The first episode of the podcast was a success, and I definitely appreciate it. This is going to be an ongoing podcast. It's going to be an ongoing live podcast. So going live on YouTube and Facebook. It stays on YouTube and it stays on Facebook. So for those of you who are listening at a later date and later time, it's still all good, right? So let's give it a few minutes to let some people hop on. This gum lost flavor already. All right. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you're not going too crazy with the stay-at-home thing. Hopefully everybody's listening to the stay-at-home thing so we can get over this shit. All right. I have a couple of cool topics for you all today. So once everybody comes on, I'll start talking about the topics. Please hold. All right. All right. Cool. So I got some good topics for you guys tonight. First thing I want to talk about on the podcast is I got asked I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, who my favorite author was. And I was without hesitation, answered David Goggins is an author of the best-selling book, Can't Hurt Me. So if you've had the pleasure of reading that, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you have not had the pleasure of reading that, that's a read that I highly recommend, and that's coming from someone who hates reading. In all fairness, I listened to the audiobook. I didn't actually read it. But so he talks about something in the book that really resonated with me. It's called the 40% rule. All right, so 40% rule relates to, I'm not much of a car guy, but on a car, there's something called a governor, which makes it, to my knowledge, to my research, again, I'm not a car guy, so don't quote me on it. Don't attack me for being wrong, but it puts a cap on the car's performance. So it doesn't go 200 miles an hour, the engine doesn't overheat, and so forth, right? That's my understanding of it. If you're a car person, feel free to correct me. But it doesn't matter because it's not about cars. The point is, we have a governor on our lives, right? So it's called the 40% rule. I use it a lot in fitness when I'm teaching class. Those of you who don't know, that's what I do for a living. I teach fitness and kickboxing. So the 40% rule means when we feel like we're at our maximum capacity, when we feel like we're at our absolute max potential, we still have 60% left to go. So when you feel like you literally can't go any further, you're realistically, mind-wise, you're only at about 40% of your true potential, which is pretty interesting if you really think about it, because especially when it comes to fitness and working out, when you're working out so hard that you're fatigued, you're really only at 40%. You can push harder than that. You can push further than that, but it's all up here, right? It's all up here. So that goes for anything. That goes for if you're in business. That goes for if you're trying to make more money as a trainer. That goes for if you're trying to make more money in any aspect of your life. You're only at 40%. If you're stuck working at a job that you absolutely hate and you want to get out of it, and you think that this job is your end all be all and you're at your maximum potential, you're really not. You're only at your 40% threshold, and you have a whole 60% left to go, which is pretty interesting because most people feel like they're stuck, which they're not. So, I want to really talk about that today. And I want some people to kind of interact with that because it's something that can relate to a lot of people. It's something that can relate to a lot of people and a lot of people's lives. So let me fix the volume on this. All right, so that's pretty much the main first topic I'd like to talk about. I use this in my own life. I used to think I was at my maximum capacity. I wasn't going to go any further. I wasn't going to get any smarter. I wasn't going to make any more money. I wasn't going to get any more successful. And I'm still on that journey, right? The difference is I'm at 40% right now in my life, and I realize I'm only at 40% now in my life. I know and fully I'm self-aware that I'm not at my true and full potential, right? And that's in every aspect. That's not just me working out. That's not me teaching my fitness classes. That's not me helping people with nutrition. That's not me helping people with motivation. And it's everything. I'm at 40% right now as far as being successful, as far as the money I'm capable of making, as far as the people I'm capable of helping, and the masses that I'm capable of reaching. And I'm only at 40% right now. So the exciting part is this can go one of two ways, right? In mindset wise, this can go one or two ways. You can think of it as, oh my God, I'm only at 40%. Shit, that sucks. Or you could think of it as, wow, I'm at 40% and I'm doing pretty good. So the super exciting part is I have a whole 60% left to go, right? That's how I think of it. I think of it in a positive sense. Not that, damn, I'm only at 40%. What the hell am I going to do? I think of it as, cool, I'm at 40% right now. Okay. It's super exciting because I now have 60% left to go. I have a whole chunk of potential left. So I want you to think of it like that, right? And if you want to look it up, it will come up via a simple Google search. It's not my thing. It's, I read it in that, I listened to it in my audiobook that I had purchased, right? So it's called The 40% Rule by David Goggins. It'll come up. He is fantastic. And you have to think of it the right way. You have to think about the mindset the right way, right? A lot of people feel like they're stuck and they're not. So that's really what I want to get across to everybody on this podcast is not only positive vibes and positive thinking and positivity in your life and bringing positivity in your life, especially in times like this where everything is super negative, especially when you watch the news and all that garbage. So, you want to fill your head with positivity because at the end of the day, negative shit's going to happen all the time. Crises are going to happen all the time. Pandemics are going to happen all the time. We're going to have shit like this a couple of times throughout our lifetime, right? It's not just right now. Right now, it may seem like it's the worst, but at the end of the day, if you really, really think about it the right way, there's a lot more to life right now than what's going on in the world, in the news, right? You still have a whole life. You still have friends. You still have family. You still have a job. You still have, even if you've got laid off, you got unemployment. You're still getting paid. There's still things to focus on besides the negative stuff that's going on right now. There's a lot of stuff to focus on besides that. And the harsh truth of it is this shit is going on regardless of whether you're stressed out, regardless of whether you're playing into the negativity of everything. It's going on no matter what. So the only thing you can really do is you can't control what's going on in the world. You can control how you react and respond to it. That's what we spoke about last week's podcast in the first episode. You can't control what's going on in the world. You can control how you react and how you respond to it, right? That makes or breaks a person. So how you respond to it is going to be the biggest thing. Not so much what's going on, how you respond to it. Right? We spoke about that a little bit last week, so I'm not going to dive too much into it, but it does tie into what I'm talking about, which is the 40% rule. So realize that whenever you, in any aspect of your life, whenever you think that you're at your maximum potential, your maximum capacity, you're only realistically at 40%. And it sounds a little silly, and you might be sitting there going, Mike, what the fuck are you talking about? This is not, easy for you to say. When I'm doing an exercise and I'm getting fatigued, and I'm not at 40%. I'm at 100% because I'm tired. No, your body might be at a higher capacity, but your body does what your mind tells it to. If you realize in your mind and you're aware that you're only at 40% of your maximum capacity and true potential, your mind will tell your body, hey, guess what? You're at 40%. Let's go. Kick it into gear. You got 60% left. Right. So that's really what I want to get across. And I want to make sure everybody understands that, because it's super important in aspects of fitness, aspects of nutrition, aspects of, I lost so much weight, I don't think I could lose anymore. You're only at 40%. Your body and mind are way more capable of doing things that you didn't even think were in your reach, right? Your mind is a very powerful thing. That's the next topic I want to get to. Your brain and your mind are very, very powerful. It can be used to completely destroy and ruin your life, or it can be used to completely turn your life around and make it one of a kind, right? You and only you have control of that. So nobody else can tell you how to do that. I could talk to you right now about it until I'm blue and purple in the face. It's not going to matter until you become self-aware of it. And that is liberating. So if it helped me, I want it to help you too. And that's really what it's going to be about. I want to help people tap into their maximum potential. I want to help people tap into their true potential. And a lot of people have self-doubt, negativity, self-bullying, right? So a lot of people do that and they don't think they can do what they want to do. So when you're thinking of something like a goal, right? Let's get on the topic of goals. When you're thinking of a goal and it seems far-fetched, it seems out of reach, it seems, holy shit, there's no way I can do that. Think of other people who did it. And I'm not saying compare yourself, because I'm not a big fan of comparing yourself. I actually am very against that. However, you can look at other people who did it. All right, David Goggins, using him as an example again. He came from way worse situation than I did. And if he can be as successful as he is right now, having accomplished all the things he did in his lifetime up to this point, why can't I? I come from a better situation than he did. A lot of the most successful people in the world come from pretty shitty situations. A lot of the self-made people, right? Another person that I really, really enjoy listening to, I've read his books, I've listened to his books, I've listened to his all his YouTube videos, Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Most of you know Gary V, right? He's very loud, he's very eccentric, he's very in your face. So you when you listen to him, you're really not going to forget him. You can't forget that guy. But he spits truth. He spits harsh truth, and it's brutally honest. So some people don't like that, because most people who are too weak-minded don't understand. They can't really grasp it. All right, they don't really like to be told it that way. They like to be sugar-coated, and he doesn't sugarcoat things. So that's really why I like him. Right? They have those things in common. As you can tell, that's how I learn. That's how I respond. David Goggins and Gary Vee, they're two very different people, come from two very different backgrounds. They've accomplished two very different things in their lives. However, the one thing they really do have in common is they're brutally honest, and they don't sugarcoat things, because they care about people being successful. So, same thing with me. I've been like that for way before I even heard of who the hell David Goggins and Gary Vaynerchuk were, right? Before they were even anybody. Even as a kid, I was brutally honest. I'll tell you how it is. I'll tell you how I think, what I think. If you don't like it, too bad. Right? Then don't listen. So, and that's because I care about people. That's what I'm in. People think even with my podcasts and my videos, my nutrition, my fitness, my classes, everything, I'm not in the business of teaching fitness. I'm not in the business of teaching nutrition. I'm not in the business of helping people become happier. I'm in the business of people. That's what I care about. I care about people. I care about you. I care about the person next to you. I care about your friends. I care about your family. I care about everybody, because I'm in the business of people and helping people. Right? It doesn't matter what industry I go into. I'm in the business of people. I can go into an industry completely out of my wheelhouse, have nothing to do with fitness, have nothing to do with nutrition, have nothing to do with anything. I'll still choose something helping people, right? So you have to really understand what your main purpose in life is before you can actually make your life better and make yourself happier in life. You have to understand, why are you here? What are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish, right? And that's where it gets tricky, because if you're in a shitty dead-end job and you're just working for a paycheck, you have to sit there and figure out, why am I doing this? What am I looking to do? What's my goal? What's my passion? What do I live for? What sets a fire inside of me that I can't go a day without thinking about? For me, it's people. It's not fitness. It's not nutrition. It's not helping. It's people, right? I want to help people in whatever industry it may be. So I chose the industry of fitness because that's been my thing. Fitness and nutrition has been my thing since I was 15 years old. So, and I've been in the fitness industry since 2010. That's a decade, right? So I have 10 years of experience helping people in that industry. But helping people might not be your thing, and that's okay. you know, spit my gum out. But you have to find what's your thing, what's your reason, what's your why. What are you passionate about? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish with your life? And if what you truly deep down want to accomplish is just working at a desk and collecting a paycheck and going home, that's completely fine. Plenty of people are happy with that. They go to their accounting jobs, they punch numbers, and they go home, they collect a check, they spend time with their family, they save up for a vacation, and plenty of people are happy with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you have to make sure you want to do what you're doing, right? And if that's not what you want to do, fix it. You have the opportunity to do that, right? I get frustrated when I hear people go, "Oh, I'm stuck at this job. I hate my boss." Da, 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 da. Okay, great. What are you going to do about it? You're going to grow old with regret, right? Because you wish you did something different with your life. Honestly, me, not so much, right? I don't want to have regret. I want to be able to do what I want, live how I want, help who I want. And by the time I'm old and wrinkly, I want to be able to sit back and be like, you know what? I helped a bunch of different people be happier with their lives and break out of the prisons that they set themselves, right? Trust me, I've worked in dead-end jobs. I've worked in jobs where I woke up and I was miserable, thinking, well, do I really need this job? Like, I freaking hate it. I hate going to work. That's no way to live. You should not wake up and be miserable going to work every day. That's not a way to live, right? You have to do what you're happy with doing. And if you are stuck in a job and I'm not saying just say F it and quit right away. That's not the way to do it either. But some people will tell you, right? You listen to someone like Gary Vaynerchuk, he'll tell you, hey, fuck that job. Go somewhere else. Do it. Done. Get out of it, right? Stop wasting time. And I do agree with that. However, be smart about it. Don't burn bridges. In my opinion, I don't like burning bridges. And, I've worked in jobs where I absolutely hated it. And I've worked in jobs like the one I have now where I absolutely love it. I get up every day. I'm filled with passion. I'm filled with fire. I like helping people. I help people get their workouts in every day, even on video like we're doing now. I help people with their nutrition. I help people get happier. I help people get healthier body, healthier mind. So, that's what I love to do, which is why I don't consider it work. I get up and I have a passion about it. I don't get up going, ugh, I got to teach an online class. God damn it. Even when I'm working in the studio, I don't get up and go, ugh, I got to go and teach a 6 a.m. class. Fuck. Right? I don't do that because that's what I love to do. Right? There's an old saying, and, it sounds cliche, but it's an old saying for a reason. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, which is absolutely true, right? The amount of classes when the studio was open, the kickboxing and fitness studio was open, and I was teaching. I mean, those of you who are members there know how many classes I teach every day, and I'm there 7 days a week, right? So even that, yes, I was exhausted. Yes, I was beat, but I love doing it. So I still got up every day, every morning, and I still went and I still got my shit done. So, and that's easy to do when you're loving what you do and you're passionate about what you do. It's very difficult to do, very draining emotionally, physically, mentally to do if you hate your job. So, not even just job, just everything. If you're overweight and you want to lose weight, get the hell off the couch, put the fucking bag of chips down and get to work. You know what to do. You know what needs to be done. Get it done, right? And some people don't like hearing it like that. Some people want it sugar-coated. Some people want, oh, no, you look good. You just, you're okay. Just walk a little bit. No, right? If you're unhappy with yourself, get happy with yourself. Make a game plan. You know what needs to be done. You know what needs to not be done. And just take action on it. Make a game plan and execute it, right? That's the biggest thing you need to do. And I can't stress that enough because I deal with a lot of different people every day. I deal with people who want help with losing weight, who want help with getting stronger, who want help this and that and this and that and this and that. Make a game plan, execute it. Even if you need help making a game plan, there are people that can help you make a game plan. If it's not me, ask one of your family members, ask your spouse, ask your whoever, ask your friends, ask your family member, your parents, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your aunt, your kids, if they're old enough to understand what you're talking about, your husband, your wife, your whatever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. You have unlimited resources. And if you don't have anyone you can turn to, guess what? Now you do, because I'm right here, right? So, you have to The biggest thing with it is really you have to choose things you're passionate about, right? If you're in a job that you're not passionate about, what are you doing? You're wasting time. And even if you're in a job that you're passionate about and you're happy with, find hobbies. Find a hobby that you love to do. Find a hobby to immerse yourself into it, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, find something that you love to do and immerse yourself into it. Everybody has their own hobbies. And the biggest thing I see with hobbies is people are so worried about being judged on what hobbies they are going to take. Oh, what if this person thinks this of me? What if this person thinks this of me? Who gives a shit, right? You have to not care what anybody thinks, right? My hobbies, not everybody likes my hobbies. Not everybody thinks my hobbies are good. Not everybody, some people are negative about my hobbies. And Brad, what's up, dude? Speaking of hobbies, there we go. There's one of the people that I look up to, Brad. If you don't follow him, go follow him. He teaches probably one of the best courses I've ever taken, and with shooting. Right? That's one of those hobbies where I started it. That's one of those hobbies where, again, at first I was like, oh, especially in New York, but people don't like guns because people have it. There's a stigma around them, but people don't understand. Okay, one of the hobbies that I started was shooting. Okay, with guns, not water guns, regular real guns. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, and you have to learn from the right people because there's a shitload of people out there that teach that hobby terribly wrong, and that puts a lot of people in danger. Right. So I started back in. It's been almost a year already. I started back in June. I think I started in June, um, and I've been completely obsessed with it ever since. So that's one of those things where at first I was like, oh, but I don't know. People are going to think this. People are going to think that. Doesn't matter, right? That's my hobby. That's not anyone else's hobby. I could care less what anybody else thinks. That's the hobby that I tried. As soon as I tried it, bam, like a light switch. I was addicted to it. And that's again, it's its own hobby. There's a lot more to it than just getting up to a target and pulling the trigger. It's an art itself. It's a science, right? There's a lot to learn, right? I could be shooting from now until 5-10 years from now, and I'll still have a whole lot to learn. So again, that's just an example. That's one of my hobbies, and again, like a passion. Okay, tattoos. There we go. There's another one with a stigma around it. Right, I'm covered in tattoos. At first, I got a tattoo, and then and I got obsessed with it. Now I'm obsessed with it. But again, that's one of those things where people look at you and they're like, "Oh, he's tattoos. He's got this," and they think there's something wrong with that. But those people are closed-minded. And if you're surrounding yourself with closed-minded people, you're going to have a really hard time breaking free and liberating yourself to do things that you want to do things that you love to do without thinking about what everyone else is going to think of you. Right? You can't sit there in life and worry about what other people are going to think of you. If they like your hobbies, cool, right on. Do the hobby with them. Bring them on, right? Have them do something with you, right? The amount of people that I've turned from couch potatoes into fitness freaks just because I was like, hey, this is my hobby. If you like it, come join me. Try it out. If you don't like it, don't watch my videos. I don't know what to tell you, right? So it's the same thing, right? As far as shooting goes, I mean, that's not as easy as just bringing someone on, but if they like it, hey, go try it out, right? Find yourself a good instructor, find yourself a good group of people, safe, goes through all the precautions, make sure everyone knows safety first, and then try it. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, find something else. There's a million billion hobbies you could do out there. Everything. It could be something so small, painting, anything. So the point is, find something that you love to do, find something that you're happy about, and go do it. There's nothing stopping you. Don't sit there and think. I could sit there and be like, oh, well, maybe this, and I don't know if I have the time, and I don't know if I have the money for it. Shooting is a very expensive hobby. Worth it, but a little expensive. Regardless, I don't know if I have time. I don't know if I have money. I don't know if the people that I go hang out with are going to like me. I don't know if I'm going to be good at it. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Just do it. What's the worst that happens? Are you dead? Are you dead? Did you die? Oh, no? Okay, then go find something else. Ditch that hobby and go find something else. Right? Nobody's going to care. You have to find the one that you're passionate about and stick with it and get good at it. Right? And that's one of those things, right, that a lot of people are afraid to do, is to get out of their head. Way too many people, if not everybody I know, is stuck in their head. Some of you know I did a little bit of acting school. I studied at an acting school for quite some time. And the biggest thing my acting teacher told me, I mean, the biggest takeaway, I learned a lot of things from that. Not even just acting. I mean, that can be used for sales, that can be used for just interaction with human beings, that can be used for everything, but acting. She taught me a lot of things, my acting teacher. She's a great person. The biggest takeaway, and I used it for teaching fitness classes, teaching kickboxing classes, teaching the kids karate, shooting. I've just overall in life in general, get out of your head. That's my biggest takeaway from my studying at acting school. Get out of your head. My acting teacher used to say, if you're in your head, you're dead. And that still holds true with everything in my life. Right? If I want to start a new workout plan, okay, stop thinking about it. Don't think about it. Get out of your head. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Right? And it was hard to reprogram because we're always taught think before you speak. In acting, it's speak and then think later. Take action, then do it later. Think later. Don't think about it right now. Just think about it later. And it is very hard to reprogram your brain like that. But if I've done live acting performances in front of rooms of 100 people, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're acting, it's in a small room packed with 100 people watching you and listening to every line you say. You have to get out of your head. That's going to ruin you. If you're in your head, you're screwed. Because now you're up on stage in front of 100 people thinking, what if I forget my lines? What if I flop? What if my partner forgets their lines and I have to pick him up, pick him and her back up? If I forget my lines and I stumble like an idiot, what are everyone going to think? Are they going to laugh at me? Am I going to mess up? My acting teacher is there doing the lines with me in the back of the room, like watching me. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What if I have something on my face? You see what I'm saying? You can go down a pretty deep, dark rabbit hole of being in your head. So when I got up on stage in front of 100 plus people and I had to recite a monologue, a 2-page monologue, or get up there with a scene partner and remember my lines, remember their lines, because I need to know their lines to know what my line is after their line. And it's a lot, but you get out of your head, do some meditation, do some breathing exercises, whatever you have to do, clear your head, get the chaos out, blank slate, and just fucking do it. If I messed up a line, nobody knows my lines besides me and or my scene partner. The audience of 100 plus people doesn't know my lines. If I fuck up a line, they're going to have no idea. All I got to do is improvise and go right back to it and pick up on a line that I do remember. And hopefully my scene partner picks up on it. Right? They're not going to know. That's the point. Get out of your head. Just do it. Whatever comes to you, do it. I didn't think about doing my shooting. When I started shooting as a hobby, I didn't think about, oh my God, this, that. I just did it. That's it. And it's liberating. It's even liberating for me to hear me say it, because I think back to that time where I started last summer and I was like, just do it. That's it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Just do it. That's it. Right. So, and that was liberating to me because now I'm obsessed with it and it's a brand new hobby. And I met a ton of really cool people and I picked up a new skill and it's awesome. So if I thought too much about it, I probably would have started months and months and months later, if not at all, because I was too busy thinking about it instead of actually taking action on it. So those are just some examples. What I want you to do is think of examples in your life that you can put my examples to use. Could be anything. This doesn't just go to my hobbies and tattoos and fitness and helping people and shooting guns and whatever. This goes towards everything. Okay. And that's really the biggest thing. So I want you to think about your own life, what you're doing in your life, what's happening in your life, what you're passionate about, what you love doing. And I want you to take my examples and use what I've told you in your own life to help you improve. And again, don't think about it, just do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, scrap it, start fresh. There's always another way. There's always another way. You are never stuck, ever, in a job, in a hobby, in a relationship, anything. You're not stuck. Okay. So that's really my thing that I wanted to get across with today. Okay. So also, if anybody likes shooting on this podcast, I would highly recommend going and giving Brad a follow. He also has a really cool podcast called Tap Rack Bang. Um, I've listened to it also. It's really cool. So if you're interested in shooting, definitely go and check him out. He teaches classes. I go to every class that I can of his. Obviously now everything's on pause because of this shit, but once everything back to somewhat normal, he's the guy. So, and next week I'm thinking about trying to do some sort of split screen guest. I don't know how it's going to work. I have to research it. I'm not very tech savvy. I'm going to have to teach myself a new skill on how to be tech savvy. Going forward, once all this stuff is back to normal, I'm going to have guests on live, and they'll be sitting next to me when they're back. When people are allowed to come into contact with each other again. But I'm going to try to do a virtual guest. I'm not sure how it's going to work. If it works, I'll have a guest on next week. If it doesn't work, I'll be by myself next week, and we'll see about the week after. So, and that's pretty much it. Quick recap of today's podcast. This one was a little bit shorter, 30 minutes. The podcasts that are going to be a little bit longer, 45 minutes to an hour, are going to be the ones with the guest, because I'm going to be pretty much interviewing them. And that's pretty much what it's going to be. So quick recap for today. We talked about the 40% rule from the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And the 40% rule is, remember, if you think you're at your full potential, if you think you're at maximum capacity, you're not. You're realistically only at 40%, physically, mentally, emotionally. And you have a whole 60% left to go. Second biggest takeaway from the recap from today is find something that you love doing. Find something that you are passionate about and take action on it. Stop thinking, get out of your head, and just do it. Take action on it and be happy. You'll see how happy you get. You'll see how liberating it is when you actually do something that you love to do, or you actually have a hobby that you love to do, or a job that you love to go to every day. And that's especially important to stay sane and positive in times like this, when we're stuck in our houses, people are going a little crazy. You want to make sure you stay positive. You want to make sure that you keep a healthy, strong mind, emotionally, psychologically, physically. You want to keep a healthy body, strong body. So those are the biggest takeaways from today. And that's pretty much it. Right. So I only had a little bit for you guys today. I'm probably going to do another podcast during the week. Normally it's going to be about once a week, every Friday. Since I have a lot of time on my hands being stuck in the house, I'm probably going to do twice a week. So I'll probably do one probably Tuesday, and then again on Friday. So I'll probably end up doing twice a week. And that's pretty much all I got for you today. So I really appreciate for everyone who tuned on live. I appreciate everyone who's listening at a later date and a later time. If you have any questions, like I said, I'm very interactive with my audience. Message me on Instagram, message me on Facebook, message me on YouTube, whatever. Text me, doesn't matter. So I want you to message me with questions. All right. If you liked this podcast, please let me know. If you think something could be different, could be better, that you want to hear on the next podcast, give me some suggestions. I'm a very open-minded person. I'm open to suggestions. If you have something that you want to hear on the next podcast, let me know. A topic could be anything, question, topic, and then that's it. If you want help on anything I talked about in this podcast, let me know. Private message me, direct message me, whatever. I will help you personally. That's what I'm in for. So that's pretty much it. I'm about to sign off. I hope you all have an amazing evening. I hope you all chat with me, ask me questions, give me topics and suggestions. And that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for tuning in. I will be doing another podcast either Monday or Tuesday. I'll put it on my Facebook. Also, make sure you follow my Instagram. It is Positive Vibes Podcast. So Positive Vibes Podcast is the name of my Instagram. Please go follow. Please go support. The only way I can make this podcast as successful as I made my last one is by my audience supporting it, following my Instagram, and we're going to get some cool stuff going. So I really appreciate it, and everyone have a great night. Signing off. Until next time.